Nova Scotia's EMO asked to use the hall as a registration center for residents of Portapique who had fled their homes.
For residents of Portapique who had fled their homes.
An RCMP officer was posted here in a cruiser. By this time, police were on the hunt for the shooter, who they knew was impersonating a police officer. At 10:30 a.m., two RCMP officers fired multiple shots outside the hall. Sources have told CT News the officers thought they were firing at the suspect, when it was in fact a fellow Mountie.
This program is brought to you in part by...
Why don't you get yourself turned down, Colorado? So much more to think, no?
The thing is, you think well concerned himself with me thinking this?
No, I see that.
The turned down color is a first symptom of decay of the great cells.
I think people keep pushing. I can't, first of all, thank enough all the hard work. There's 3 fellow YouTubers who are working very hardly on this one. Ray J. Kage, Steve LT, and just my opinion. Right there. They are fantastic guys. Really been busting their hearts here. And don't get up enough plate. There's a certain amount of risk staying free. And also, likewise, all of the people who are volunteering information and time, which like I said, over on the Discord or sending me anonymous information, it is fantastic.
Oh no, is there an echo? Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. Hopefully everybody's getting to hang out with their families in this Kovu. Bush baby, Glenn B. Jill. How's it going, Jill? Grinder. How you doing? Nova Scotia citizen. There's an echo? There's no echo now? Oh, no. I don't know. There shouldn't have been an echo. That's weird. Isn't that strange? Anyway, Point Fire. How's it going? Thank you very much for everybody for your Christmas wishes. I appreciate that, and always the continued support. Thank you for those of you who reached out. Got some new people that emailed. I try and get to them as many as possible. So I did get to a few today, and I spoke to a couple of interesting individuals. So anyway, but things keep developing. And I saw that, oh, balls. I didn't put in the, There's all the group working hard on Christmas. Just the intro. I wonder if I can cut out the intro. It must have been really annoying. My apologies. John Brown, Nick Lou. I wonder if we'll have this 420 individual come back. That would be interesting. Christina Ripley, good afternoon. I heard you guys didn't get very much snow down there. I'll tell you, we sure got a lot down here. Anyway. Okay, so let's get to Rick. I think I've got this queued up and get that fired away. Anybody who has a recording, I think, sadly, somehow it's either been misplaced or my stupidness, of Charlene on Rick Howe, preferably on video with a little bit of before and after would be great. I'm going to try and reach out to them and see if they can get it, because I don't think it's on the archived. They kind of delete them as they go, and I don't think it goes back that far, and I can't find my recording. And there's something very interesting about that call, or sorry, that when he played that I wanted to reference. Festivus for the rest of us. Festivus for the rest of us. 420 got schooled. Did he get schooled? They got schooled. Festivus for the rest of us. Yep. Those of you who are Christian, great. Jesus' birthday. Those of you who aren't, it's a Festivus for the rest of us. What was it? Seinfeld had the poll or something. Probably better not touch that one. Anyway, Rick Howe, let's get to it.
Silent night, holy night.
19 minutes after the hour here on a Thursday afternoon, Christmas Eve. Hope you're having a good day and a Merry Christmas to everyone. A front page story this week in the Chronicle Herald was headlined, "The Making of Nova Scotia's Mass Killer." The story says Gabriel Wortman was severely abused as a child. And joining me on the phone this afternoon with some thoughts is journalist and author Paul Palango. Paul, good afternoon to you. Merry Christmas to you, sir.
Merry Christmas to you.
What did you think of that story? Did you read it?
Well, I congratulated Andrew Rankin for doing the story.
But it seems to me that they're looking for, they're almost making excuses for what happened. Did you get that sense?
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, you're dead right. I mean, my complaint from the beginning is that the media has focused almost entirely on the monster that Wortman is, and we know that.
Yeah.
That's not the issue in this story.
And maybe he was abused as a child, but as I said earlier this week, I believe, and some in fact counted, they did some research and said that, my point being that not everyone who is abused as a child turns out to be a serial killer. Well, it turns out that roughly about a quarter of all kids who are abused as children end up committing crimes and perhaps even murdering people. But again, it seems that they were just making excuse for Palango's actions when you're right. We should be looking at other aspects of this.
I think you said Palango there, but
oh, sorry, Wortman. yeah.
Well, the flip side of what you said is true. 3/4 of the people who grow up in criminal families and who are abused don't commit any crimes and turn out to be good people.
Yep.
And that's what's lost in all of this. I mean, the issue here is, okay, he's a bad guy, but there's other things going on here. And, it disturbs me to no end. Like I said, I congratulated Andrew on his story. I thought he did a lot of hard work on it. But the problem is that, we got the media saying, we're here for the families. We're here, we want to be respectful of the families and the victims. Well, the way to be respectful is to find out what happened, what really happened. And I mean, the real story here is I've laid out in a couple of stories, and I've been pounding away at for 7 months, is that the RCMP, because of its actions or inactions, is directly responsible for 9 of those deaths, the ones on Sunday. And in my timeline that I laid out in Frank recently, I show that at least 5 people were killed in the 20-minute period after the RCMP got there, knew Wortman was shooting people, and did nothing. And then you can make the further argument that we don't know what really happened there, because the RCMP's response, such as it was, is inexplicable. They sat at the end of the road. So was this incompetence? Were they told to sit there? Was there something going on, something else going on? And this is where we get into the tinfoil hat. People say conspiracy theories, but we have to find an explanation for why the RCMP didn't pursue Wortman, didn't try to save lives at any time.
Well,
that's the story.
Do you have a guess on that, or do we wait to see? Will this story come out? The true what really happened? Will that come out in the public inquiry? Do you think?
I doubt anything is going to come out in the public inquiry. I mean, I've said this before, they're doing everything they can to keep things quiet. I think it's up to the media to basically keep pounding away the families, the citizen investigators who are doing wonderful work, gathering information and bringing things to the fore. Rick, when I did the timeline story, it took me 2 months to get someone to publish it. I finally went with Frank because at least they're trying to do something and recognize the story. And Andrew Douglas is doing a great job at doing that. But when I'm thinking about what happened at Portapique that night, and if you read that 6,000-word story, it says there were a number of bodies, 4 bodies on the road and in properties on Orchard Beach Road. The RCMP knew this apparently around midnight when they rescued 2 kids. but they did nothing on that road all night until the next day. So you had 11 of the 13 victims are on Orchard Beach Road, and the RCMP does nothing because I have witnesses driving through there at 9:30 in the morning, and there's bodies still on the road with a tarp over them, feet hanging out, no yellow tape, nothing. And they invested all their time on Portapique Beach Road, where they didn't know if anyone was dead, supposedly, because the 2 people killed there were incinerated in the fire. So why were they doing the things they were doing? Why would they invest so much time on Portapique Beach Road? What was going on down there that was so interesting? And they let Wortman go. They made no attempt to block him off or anything.
But they also thought, at least some did at one point, that he died in the fire in his house that he burned down.
Well, yeah, that's confusing. There's so many conflicting stories. I mean, if you go to the unredacted documents, there's all kinds of errors in there. The recent unredacted documents, they've added new information in December to things that were supposedly done on April 20th. And nobody in the media said, "Whoa, wait a second, what's going on here?" They're constantly, coming up with different stories. I mean, if you look at them saying, "Oh, well, we thought Wortman had committed suicide." Well, they did, but then they were be on the lookouts for Wortman too.
Yep.
At the same time, there's something the story, and we talked about this earlier, Rick. The thing that really bothers me is the RCMP story, from the abuse of and the beating of Lisa Banfield to her hiding in the woods. This is concocted. We know she didn't hide in the woods. Why is the RCMP standing behind that story? Why are they not saying this didn't happen? It's clear it didn't happen, because she still got all her fingers and toes, from what I understand.
Yeah, and it was a frigid night, and she wasn't dressed for the weather, apparently.
No, she wasn't dressed. So why is the RCMP sticking to this story 8 months down the road? Because the real problem, and this is sort of, I hate talking about this just the day before Christmas, but it's as good a time as any. The real problem with the story is, if it was a madman like the RCMP likes to portray, like the other media keeps putting, holding up as this is the story. Well, why 8 months down the road are they still hiding things, redacting things? Why do we not have a clear explanation for what happened? That's a straightforward story. Crazy guy goes mad, kills a bunch of people. That's the story. What is the problem 8 months down the road and going into the new year?
Well, that's that's the unknown factor, and that's again why I think that how important this public inquiry is to getting to the bottom of these kind of questions here. You don't share that confidence. I'd like to think that the public inquiry will get to the real truth, but you're not prepared to do that, Paul.
Well, Rick, if you read my previous book, you'll see how I looked at a public inquiry that clearly hid things in the wide open. It looked like they were doing an open and honest job, but they actually hid things from the public about what was really going on. This one I have no confidence in, because the people appointed to this inquiry, Mr. Justice McDonald, Leanne Fitch has a previous relationship with the RCMP. She was on their management advisory board. She's not a dispassionate person. She was the police chief in Fredericton, where Wortman was doing a lot of his work, his criminal work, during this period. There's a conflict there. And then the third person is, Stanton is involved with Aboriginal studies and Aboriginal work and restorative justice, which has should be no factor in this.
Yeah.
The families want to get to the bottom of what happened. The RCMP has clearly shown, and the government has shown, that they're hiding a lot of stuff. As I said, if this is a madman gone crazy, tell us what happened. Give us a timeline. Tell us who was killed first. Because they can't give a timeline, Rick, because if they give a timeline of what happened, it's going to throw off their concocted story. The sort of narrative they put out and the media has swallowed whole. They can't give a narrative of who was killed first, because that will be revealing. It doesn't fit the timeline. And I think future stories are going to show that.
Well, again, we'll look forward to many conversations coming up in the new year, Paul, as we continue to pursue what exactly did happen and why the RCMP acted as they did. And as always, Paul Palango, appreciate you delving into this and being available to us to share some of those thoughts. Thank you very much. And again, have a Merry Christmas, Mr. Palango.
You too. And as I said, I want the citizen investigators to keep working and do all they can because they're the ones who are turning this story.
Have a good day,
Thank
Paul.
you.
Thanks a lot, bud. Take
Bye-bye.
care. Paul Palango, it's 2 minutes. Make that 12:28 right now on this Thursday morning. We've got a news update coming up for you in just a moment. Then another half hour to go yet on this Christmas Eve. We're back right after the news.
Okay. Merry Christmas, Lynn. It is terribly heartbreaking. So we can just say our prayers for everybody. Everybody's, having a hard time right now. I know. In fact, I was speaking with one person today who, funnily enough, might not be person that you might not think it is. It's not a family member, but having a difficult time. Let's just keep praying. Stay strong. Stay the course. So, not sure if there was any rage. There's one of our buddies. Where's our friend? I was going to try and pull up her latest video. Rage, of course. And I didn't get to see. Okay, now, if you give me a moment, I can do this. I think I can do it. I can put in the copy. And then I can do, how do I do this? Something like this. I don't want any echoes and stuff, that kind of stuff. Who's having a Christmas dinner? Is anybody having Christmas dinner? Or are you down to the one? My mom decided to say to me, she's like, I can come visit you, but I can come visit you, but you guys can't come and visit me because it's a group. I'm like, oh no. It's sad. This is my own mother, but this is where we're at, right? I'll chalk it up to that she's a little elderly. Somehow she lost faith somewhere along the line. How do I change this now? Oh, okay. Right. Should be here. No. Here. Okay, there we go. Now I want to insert the information for everybody. Just give me one moment. Paste. Okay, and then save. All right, so if you refresh the page now, there'll just be the contact information as per normal down below. So please do feel free to contact me. Also, wanted to go to one of our friends who released a new video. Oh dear. So she has the contact information below also. Who's having the Christmas dinners? Let's see here. Turkey tomorrow. All right, good. Jill's having 10 people. Oh, you're allowed to have them. Okay. Better buy extra gift under the tree for your spouse. Well, yeah. See, she's getting something. She knows what she's getting. I hope she likes it. Maisie, are you having dinner? Rage is having dinner. Elk roast. Homemade desserts. Oh my. With an elk roast. That sounds pretty yummy. Ozzy's traveling up north. Screw what they say. I'll take a ticket for the grandkids. They come first. Family. This is about family. You know, I don't think you can legislate family. Ham tomorrow with my sister. Turkey dinner Sunday with both kids and better halves. Wow. 2 dinners going there. All right. Yep. Whole family. Christina's going all out. Amy's having a Christmas. Everybody's having bison ribs and tenderloin tonight. Turkey feast tomorrow. My Lord. Maisie's having, what is that? What did you say? Something about a 25 allowed as it's a funeral for the turkey. Yeah, I mean, you can use these silly arguments. I was watching this morning about the poor hockey kid getting beaten up over here in Calgary. I mean, that's just pure, utter nonsense. Anyway, not to steal her stuff, because don't want to do that. Don't want to step on toes. So do subscribe to the people working extra tough on the YouTube side, please, below. And of course, big, always, huge Merry Christmas to everybody in the team. The good old Discord team. We had a few new members join. Hopefully no baddies in there. Anyways, back to Odier's video. So please do subscribe to her channel. She just put out a new video about the smoke shop. And I'm wondering if this is the APTN video. I haven't had a chance to ask her yet, because I noticed APTN. Somehow I stumbled into that, and it seemed a much crisper video. And so she slowed this down for everybody. So let's have a watch. Oops, no sound. There we go. Sorry. There we go. Gosh, how much? You suck at lip reading? I suck at reading, apparently. Is it better now? I don't even know why I muted the video. It's not a real Ford Taurus. It does appear to be a Ford Taurus, I think. What are we missing? You don't miss anything, Chiang. You don't miss anything. Okay, so it does seem like you can read a little bit into this video. Let's see, I could slap on. We can do this at clip speed. I can do it frame by frame. I did it frame by frame when I was doing it. Now let's just do frame by frame and see. Move this box over. Anybody sees anything of interest, please shout out. I'll try and keep. It's a Hyundai pretending to be. Yes, okay. Seems to have the correct tail lights for a police interceptor. That was one thing I thought was worthy of note. I mentioned that in the Lloyd Johnson stuff. And the Lloyd Johnson stuff is really good. If you haven't noticed that in the last video, there's more to the story, I assure you. But Lloyd's daughter is clearly a psychic, getting information on tweets that will be arriving 23 minutes later, or somebody's not telling the truth. Oh, on that note, I should actually mention this. How many people have been charged in this story so far, or getting interesting things happening to them? So we have Paul with the razor incident, 4 lawyers for, as I'm told, razors from Costco. He's 70 some odd years old, 72, is that how old he is? Razors at Costco are approximately $50. I believe he forgot to show his receipt or something, and then a police officer apparently approached him. Don't know how the police officer's there. Costco usually deals with their stuff if you're thieving, apparently in-house, so I'm not exactly sure what's going on. And then he's charged with theft under. At 72, without a criminal record, really minimal charge, especially if he forgot to show his receipt or something. So he goes through 4 lawyers, slightly more than $50. A lot more than $50. 20 minutes with a lawyer is going to cost you more than $50. Anybody who knows that. And he's going through 4 of them. Okay. And then he decides to not show up for his court case. Okay. You're gonna risk a bench warrant for $50 razors? All right. We have Lively, who got in the accident. Sid Cell Signs. He got in the accident with the 3 boys. There's a rumor about town, apparently, that he was intentionally trying to hit some other car. He may be related to somebody who has multiple drunk driving convictions. So I don't know what's going on there. Okay, but Sid Cell Signs, Paul Wortman, Lisa Banfield, ammunition, brother-in-law. Who else do we have? We have Keith's Gas Bar. You know Keith's? Talked about that a little bit the other night. Just mentioned it a little, how the daughter, I don't believe the daughter was there because we reached out and contacted her, and she said, Syllaboy, that it was her father who was actually there, which seems kind of contrary to what she said, but maybe not. Maybe they just kind of funny edited that. Keith's Gas Bar. Let's see what's going on over there. I thought this was rather interesting. Millbrook Gas Bar operator fined for tax evasion. This is just a few days ago. Keith's Gas Bar, wouldn't you know? Keith Julian, operator of Keith's Gas Bar in Millbrook, has been fined nearly $500,000, $500,000, for filing false income statements, tax statements. Millbrook business operator has been fined nearly $500,000 by the Canada Revenue Agency after pleading guilty. So he pled guilty in provincial court to filing false income tax statements. Keith Roderick Julian, who operates Keith's Gas Bar, which I don't know if you can see it. No. Sorry, I think we're in the wrong place. Keith's is actually... He would have driven by Keith's, or he would have driven by Keith's. Keith's is to the north, just directly to the north. So behind the camera. Keith's, who operates Keith's Gas Bar, was sentenced in Truro on Wednesday, December 16th, after pleading guilty to 15 counts of making false or deceptive statements in his goods and service tax harmonized sales tax, GST, HST returns under the Excise Tax Act, totaling $459,436 during a 15-month period. Julian was fined a fine to that amount, plus he has to pay an additional $459,000 in tax amount tax owing related interest and penalties assessed by the CRA. Quote, in addition to the court-imposed fine, Julian has instructed his accountant to file his GST, HST returns for the last 5 years and publicly accepted his obligations under the Excise Tax Act, the CRA said in a news release issued Thursday afternoon. A CRA investigation revealed that Julian failed to report his GST, HST that he collected from non-Indigenous customers from January 2013 to March 2014. The release said he filed false GST, HST statements for the 15-month period, saying he collected zero GST, HST, which is in fact, he collected $459,000. During the 19 and 20 fiscal year, Public Prosecution Service of Canada's conviction rate for tax-related crime was up 94%. Interesting. Keith's Gas Bar. Boy. Whalen getting poofed. The EDO under investigation. Actually, it's under even a new one, I think. They're really having some issues. I don't know quite what's going on over there. Again, these are just, at least in Keith's, and that's pleading guilty. But Lisa's charged. Sid Cell Signs, charged. Paul Wortman, charged. So what's going on? Don't mind that nonsense in the background. One of my phones is ringing, apparently. Anyway, So what's happening? Just thought I'd mention that. Crazy stuff. They're trying to say the cop car is a natural extension of their family being scam artists. If you can dispel that RCMP narrative, they charge and remove from the public spotlight. I'm wrong. Paul stole razors because he was like a woman, like Wortman and the restaurant's cup, trying to scam the system to feel smart, is what the Chronicle Herald is implying, which is a short step to the cop car. Well, I'm just noticing things. I like to notice things. Whalen's a big one. Whalen's involved in this. What I didn't mention, or he has some periphery attachment to the story, at least. His paper that he wrote for his thesis paper was domestic violence. He's psychology, of course, right, for the RCMP. And attached Lloyd Johnson, the cigar hut guy. His thesis paper with 666 employees, which doesn't even make sense because some of these people are cashiers at Max and stuff like that. I don't know what's going on over there. But his thesis paper was on domestic violence, women and youths, I believe. Let's see here. John Whalen. Thesis. Domestic violence. And of course, he deals with PTSD for the RCMP. This is John. I believe he has a Facebook profile with Mustang. He's got Mustang, or did, a long time ago. So he went to St. Mary's and Kage and the University of New Brunswick. Isn't that interesting? Senior psychologist in private practice treating first responders, military veterans, and their families, operational trauma and related issues. During my doctoral training, I was principal investigator in a large multi-site qualitative study on dating violence for the Muriel McQueen Ferguson Center for Family Violence Research. My dissertation evaluated treatment outcomes for Canadian Force members involved military programs. Since 2007, I have been evaluating the effects of group and peer-based interventions, chronic PTSD, and transitional stress experienced by veterans and their families. I'm particularly interested in the quality of early familial attachment relationships and incidents of adult trauma, other mental health issues. So, I mean, just interesting things to note. I can stick the link in for you here. There you go. You charge everyone in the public. Yeah, and then we have members disappearing. Somebody kindly wrote and let me know that there's RCMP member getting replaced. They're looking for a home. Nova Scotia to provide $750,000 for mental health support in Mi'kmaq communities, the Chronicle Herald. They also got the $50 million land settlement. Is that correct? Again, I'm not picking on anybody, just noticing things. Conviction equals any testimonials against RCMP thrown out because cons can never tell the truth. Aha, yes. This is another issue which I think some of you are aware of to some extent. I won't get into any specifics on it at this point in time, but there's somebody else tied to this that may have some things going on in the background. I'd rather you don't discuss it in chat here, please. But you are aware of it. Those of you, at least in the Discord for sure, are aware of it. And, you know, why are all these things happening? Why do we have John Whalen disappearing? Why do we have Keith's Gas Bar getting charged? Why do we have large settlements coming into the Millbrook First Nation? Why do we have Lisa and brothers essentially getting charged, men getting charged at this stage? Why are all these people going under the bus? Why is Sid Cell Signs going under the bus? And somebody pointed out kindly that the route that Wortman took, Esplanade, I believe I mentioned this before, but Esplanade, Sid Cell Signs is on Esplanade in Truro, because the route he took was not probably the most direct route, right? He could have gotten to 102 if that's in fact, or 2, which in fact much quicker. So it is the fastest route. Is that what you're saying? Somebody timed it out for me and sent me some stuff, and or yes, it is. Yeah, Esplanade. I think you're saying that Sid Cell Signs is on Esplanade. So this just all seems rather interesting, yet we have mention of the Carpenter. Carpenter is a really serious one, and people should start pushing hard on this one and finding out what's going on with the Carpenter. They were threatened, and this is the first time anywhere in the warrants that a charge has been leveled at somebody, threatening to charge somebody. The quote Carpenter, who lived in the, I think he lived in the warehouse upstairs. Conspiracy to commit murder. That's like he's involved. The police actually thought that he was involved. I believe they brought in, and he was questioned under caution. I think he's questioned 2 times. The timing of certain people and certain events happening over in New Brunswick possibly may have some relation to what's going on down there. Also, the charge of the former owner of Broman. Another arson, got hit with another 3 arsons round about the same time. Very interesting. The one who sold Broman to Wortman. Kipling. So what's going on over there? What are they not telling us? Lots of stuff. 139, Esplanade. There we go. He went all through town. No, it's all the way out. He took a detour. Yeah. So why is he taking a detour? Would not be the fast route. Okay, so basically that's the consensus. Awesome information. Somehow I totally missed that. So of course the pick 2 arsons, yes, of Kipling. Right. I'm probably not going to touch that last comment there, Maisie, just for the time being. But I think we have some ideas. That video that anonymously was, or a good anonymous person, shall we put, been very helpful. Pointed out about Wortman and the bikes getting detailed. Bikes were also being moved, not just through the border, other places. So chopping, was he chopping stolen bikes? I don't know. It's interesting he has the Nexus card, of course, so you can blast through there. Is he using false identification? He's taking many trips. Is it just drugs? Drugs and cigarettes? I don't know about the cigarettes part of it. But of course, what is his role? Who is he working for? He's not a solo operator. I know that. Yeah. You can't really work solo crackolo. People are going to come calling. That's how it works, right? So you work with groups. I'm done. I'm done. I'm finished. I'm finished, right? In the warrants? Lisa? With whom? Why is he having a ticket issued on February 12th by Mr. Dorrington, last name, same as the former head of Atlantic Canada, RCMP Witness Protection Program, Frank Dorrington. Nicholas Andrew Dorrington, Frank Dorrington. And Steve has come on and talked about that before in the phone call, which was rather interesting. Looking for Nick, got Frank. Okay. And that was February 12th, as well as the Car 54 story submitted by who? Oh, Mr. Wortman. Right? Gabriel Wortman had a list. The list got buried right away. The premise of the list got dismissed immediately. First, there was the list that doesn't exist list. And of course, what time was that at? 12:30 Staples. Nathan, I think it's Nathan Staples. Could somebody correct me if I'm wrong? Nathan Staples, 12:30 visit, ERT. On 12:30 on the 19th, 12:30 a.m. Let's read through that document again. If I'm incorrect about the name, please do correct me. It's mentioned also in The Guardian. This is from the National Post. We additionally know the 12:30 a.m. the RCMP, I just, just so they didn't have the typo, I read this through carefully. The RCMP visited the house of the couple on Highway 4, the couple who also owned a mock RCMP cruiser and parked it on the front yard. And I think that will, if it's not Nathan Staples, then please, like I said, correct me. The couple told the police that the car hadn't been moved recently and that additionally that Gabriel Wortman had visited them back in August or September to ask about buying their car. They declined. The couple also are not suspects in the murders, but police believe that they may have been victims. Quote, like everyone else, quote, so this is from his mouth. We were completely unaware of what was happening. The couple tells, well, it could be, I suppose, the female. Interesting that the couple is speaking, but can't really do that. But the couple tells the Halifax Examiner, quote, the tactical team showed up on their own and they were on foot. And when they left, they did not tell us to go into the house and lock the doors. Sounds like Leon. We made our own assumptions that night. So it's not a typo, this 12:30 a.m. That is the real deal. ERT team is coming and visiting them before they're even down the road. And perhaps the shooter in Portapique had stolen a vehicle. Additionally, they know about it at that point in time. I guess they would have known about it subsequently. Now they're speaking about it as in past tense. This point in time, police had the Portapique crime scene contained. There's always mention of the 2 perimeters that were there, 4-kilometer radius. You can search back and find a few references to that. It's very, very seldom spoken of, and they identified and accounted for three registered mock police cruisers belonging to the suspect. I haven't read that in the warrant, funnily enough. I haven't read that in the warrant. He couldn't have been solo. No, you can't operate as a criminal solo. Crackolo. Doesn't work. This was supported in The Guardian out of the UK. Late on Saturday night, an officer in tactical equipment arrived at Nathan Staples' home. Okay, so I was correct. To check on the Glen home resident. He came to apologize. He said, quote, "We're sorry. We couldn't have been there quicker. That's when I got angry," he told the Globe and Mail, uncertain why he was being visited by police. On Friday, the RCMP said that a number of people have been approached by officers who they believed may have been in danger. Quote, "We were contacting individuals," this is about the list, "who we believed to have been on a list or were potentially at risk." Who said that? Darren Campbell. Sorry, I'm covering that up. Darren Campbell said that. Let's just have a look at that. "We were contacting individuals who we believe could have been on a list or were potentially at risk." RCMP Superintendent Darren Campbell. A pardon? And then, of course, they said, "Oh, no, there's no list. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Darren? Derp." Told reporters on Friday, "We were contacting them, we were bringing them to safety, and we were interviewing them at that time." Multiple people. Right? You got Paul getting visited in the morning, 5:30 approximately, even though he doesn't seem to got his days figured out, which frankly speaks probably to where Glenn's mind is. Be very careful of this one. Demented. Early stages, I like to say early stages of dementia. He's been in the care home for how long? 5 years. Probably it's rather further along. Look at how Brenda had to be suggestive in her statements, leading. Do you remember when? Oh, Glennie, do you remember that? Yeah, the list, and then they just changed their mind. Yeah, exactly, Ms. Yep, there's a list, and no list. And you know what? Funnily enough, I've heard mention of the list in respect to another individual who seems like he's a good guy who suddenly went poof. And I'm like, but it's the associations of these people back to certain things. When I was going through some articles this morning with, let's see here, with Tara. No, I'm not. Again, I'm not saying that. I'm not making any accusations. Just noticing things. This stuff keeps coming up, popping up. Greenwood. I should be careful, probably, because I'm not making any accusations. But what I did notice is RCMP Corporal Fraser Firth, who was conducting the interview. Let's just read this. Leslie Greenwood maintained his innocence during a police interview following his arrest on first-degree murder charges, the deaths of Barry Merzereau and Nancy Christensen. Those of you who live down there will clearly remember the Merzereau stuff. Merzereau brothers, lots and lots of things tied together all around this stuff. Jurors at Greenwood's retrial Thursday, this is in 2018, January 2018, there he is, So he doesn't have the black eye in this one. He hasn't taken the jailhouse beating, which the jury never heard about. Jurors at Greenwood's retrial Thursday saw the video recording of an interview December 9th, 2010. Greenwood at one point said he didn't know Michael Lawrence, who has since pleaded guilty in the case and who testified for the Crown. Didn't know. RCMP Corporal Fraser Firth. Not sure if you guys... Steve's in here? Yeah, Merry Christmas. My bros in here. Lisa Dean, Merry Christmas. Merry. Tara's in here. And he's there. I think there's family in here. We had somebody the other night. Thank goodness. Special prayers for all of you. So actually it was Tara and I that were going through this and kind of just I was looking at some stuff to do with Corporal Fraser Firth, who was conducting the interview, dismissed that at the time. Quote, "We're way past that now," he said. Using a fishing analogy, Firth told Greenwood, "You're not on the hook. You're in the boat." Well, that doesn't sound very good for Mr. Greenwood. Greenwood insisted he was only at the Mersero and Christian's house on September 9, 2000 to pick up drugs and cigarettes on the direction of Jeff Lyons. He said he didn't know any details of what was supposed to happen and didn't know where the truck he and Lawrence used to get to Mersero's house had come from. But he didn't know Michael Lawrence. So he's just driving around with some guy he didn't know. There's some weird shit going down there, man. Because, you know, well, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing how you pick up people. And said he didn't know the details of what was supposed to happen. Didn't know where the truck he and Lawrence used to get to Mersero's house came from. You know, I don't know where this truck came from. I don't know who you are. Let's go for a ride. He said he was chit-chatting away, quote, chit-chatting away with Mersero. Oh, sorry. He said he did, and then grabbed the bags he was supposed to, he was there to get, and went to the truck outside. I guess he walked into somebody's house with somebody else's house. He didn't even know, of course, because you do that all the time. From a truck, you don't even know. Just after he went outside, he heard the gunshots. He and Lawrence left after that, and he tossed a box over the railing of the bridge while Lawrence threw a gun over. Well, this just sounds like a regular outing. Even for a drug pickup, what are you throwing a box over for? What's in the box? Lawrence is throwing a gun. That's, I guess, understandable, other than you don't know this person and you don't know why you're in that truck or how you even got it. Well, yeah, he does say some things here. He said he didn't have a gun with him, but he threw a box over. I guess he's carrying a box around. I don't know. Hey, here's a box. I'll just throw that over the railing. Just decide to stop here. Oh, while you're here, you, who I don't know, you throw that gun away. Firth said he didn't understand why Lawrence would take Greenwood with him to a shooting if he wasn't involved. You'd be a loose end, he said. Loose end. He also said it was odd that Jeff Lyons would send Greenwood to the house without letting him know that Lawrence was going to shoot Mersero and Christensen. Greenwood said he didn't see Lawrence after that day. Didn't see him before, didn't see him after, don't know you, you're tossing guns, you're shooting people. Thanks for coming out. At one point, a different officer who Greenwood had asked for, because he knew him, took over the interview. Yeah, I'd like to talk to Constable Daryl Morgan. I know that guy. I've known you for 10 years and never pegged you for what you're going through today, said Constable Daryl Morgan. Greenwood told Morgan he had since cut ties with Jeff Lyons. Quote, I went down there to get my pot and cigarettes, and he popped the fuckers, Greenwood said of Lawrence. Quote, I didn't want no one dead. It's not my cup of tea, he said. During the interview, there was a fair bit of dialogue about Jeff Lyons giving the order for Merzero and Christensen to be killed, but not pulling the strings. Lyons was the uncle of Curtis Lyons, who Lawrence testified had given him and Greenwood guns to carry out the killings. But I thought he didn't have a gun. What was it? Maybe I misunderstood that. He said he didn't have a gun with him. Maybe he put it in the box before tossing it over. What? The uncle of Curtis Lyons, who Lawrence testified had given him and Greenwood guns to carry out the killings. Morgan said Jeff Lyons and others were saying that Greenwood was involved in the murder. Quote, I didn't pull the trigger, Greenwood said. The trial resumes Monday, Nova Scotia Supreme Court in Kentville. And I don't think I'm going to touch much more on that right now, for now. If you want to dig around, that's good. Let's see. So do go and check out Ozzy's new video, please. Merry Christmas is still going around. How would they ever know who to warn? I don't know. At 12:30? When they haven't even gone down the road, right? Oh, that's right. Bishop, who hasn't been charged, who apparently has committed a criminal act. But they did save him. Don't worry about those children. I think by this point, they may have gotten the children. I doubt it. 12:30? 12:30? I don't think so. I don't think the children were rescued until about 12:40. Plus, then you're going to have to account for time to radio and get all those details firmed up. And obviously, the kids wouldn't know anything about a list anyway. So what's going on with that? But you're not rescuing kids. You're going out and you're taking care of other people. LB gave them a verbal list. Well, that was the next day. So she's only about 6 hours late. If she did. The list was written in crayon on the dashboard of the Ford SUV. Yes, the Ford SUV. Which has all kinds of damage all over the side of it that they seem to like to have crop out. It's magically just surfaced on the internet. When? It didn't even make sense. To me, those websites are false. I went through them with you, though, and showed my position on that, why that's possible. And if you don't believe that this shit can happen, seriously, all I can say to you is maybe after Christmas turkey is done and everything, and you're feeling done with your festive activities, and you're thinking about how families maybe not quite the same position as you, 23 families in that position, lots of people, lots of friends. Maybe you can read about, I don't know, Project Wide Awake or BabelX. Find out how much they do on the internet. More likely laptop mounted with a swing arm between the front seats on 28B11, of course, because you know all those parts right away too. The car he got 2019 August, and he got it equipped right away. You knew all the parts. Yes, of course, the website, which is fantastic. Everybody can go over to that website, by the way. It's not a secure website at all. No, not the RCMP. They don't know anything about internet security. You can go and learn how to make decals for an RCMP car. I won't give you that link because I don't want to be committing any kind of crime. I'm not into that. I'll leave that with them. Les Greenwood, pathological liar. Shalom, BB left out a box of bagels, Mossad headquarters. You got your bagels? Awesome. There's lots of Greenwoods there. There's a place called Greenwood. Okay, interesting. Didn't know that. Learning all these town names, which of course I can't pronounce 3/4 of them. RCMP probably just thinks I get those emails periodically. They're funny. They do. I try. Come on. You have to give me credit. Just thinks after the holiday that we're all cool off and leave them alone. It will be awful. Not even slightly. No, I think it's just warming up. Even their propaganda machine that they want to spit out now, they're really doing some bad moves. Honestly, it would be interesting if I played for quote unquote the other team. I think like that, and their strategies, but they're doing some real bad ones. If they want some tips on how to do this, I can help them out. They're failing. Sorry about it. Todd, laugh out loud, said dressed bagel. Steve missed his bagel. Large amounts of drugs. Okay, says Steve. We need Sheriff Buford T. Justice to figure this out. Buford T. Justice. I don't think I'm familiar. Oh, okay. Roscoe P. Coltrane. I can't do that voice. What was the dog's name? The Beagle. That was a great show. How many cars did they destroy making that show? Chargers. Oh my Lord. Scary. And I love the voiceover. Who was that did the voiceover? Chris Christopherson. They're overqualified for the new RCMP. Yes, that's the hockey. Sorry, just to backflash. This is totally off topic. The hockey video. Those of you who haven't seen the hockey video of the boy here in Calgary, it's threatened with a taser because he's skating around on ice, and I think they ended up charging him with damage to public property. The pond, the frozen water. They didn't like that. Oh, I think I'm going to have to go here soon. Anyway, he's wearing like full-on hockey gear, right? Full-on hockey gear. Just one moment. Sorry. Okay. He's wearing like full-on hockey equipment, and the woman actually thinks for some reason her taser would do something to that. No, it would bounce off. So I don't know. Derp. I would have been like, tase me. Go ahead. Curious what position the new RCMP officer in Bible Hill will be. Who is he replacing? Hopefully Carol. Yeah, maybe. They're swapping out all of their staff. They're swapping out everybody. That's how they're dealing with get rid of the story, right? Whether it's down to the big stop, they're burying people, literally burying people. I don't know if that situation is still the same. The Sobeys also north of the big stop. I forget the town. Sorry, it's slipping my mind. The mall, the liquor store is there too. SWAT came over there and did, rah, rah. Anyway, the Sobey staff is all disappeared, last I heard. None of them are back. Clinton said they mentioned a list. Oh, Clinton, yeah. Anyway, no worries. Okay. Special prayers for Clinton, too. Clinton said they mentioned a list when he was rescued. Did he say that? I don't recall that. Does anybody else remember that? They were editing his video and doing all kinds of crazy, funny technical problems. I loved when they changed it to oh no, is that saying this is Apple? Uh-oh. Okay, well, I'll do it like that. The filming of the upright, CBC tried to change it. Fucking yahoos, they think they're so smart. Oh yeah, nobody will see the cut now that guy's pointed it out. You won't see the disappearing stuff in the background or the big puddles of water. So we'll crop the video. That's how we'll do it. Clinton 3.0, I think that was 4.0. They've messed with his video huge, and they were doing it while he made it, which is really fucked up. Somebody said that they actually saw the interview live. I never did. And all of the details that were cut out in the freezing Clinton while he's talking. You guys remember that? They heard what was there. I haven't, unfortunately. Pray for those kids getting out, help, all the help they need. Yeah, but please, special prayers for them. Special prayers for all the family members. It's going to be a really difficult Christmas. Really, and I know that, speaking to a couple of them. And they're, in some cases, the support might not be there from the places that you think it would be. Those links are bait, laugh out loud, the RCMP, learn anything you want. Then thanks to cookies, they track your every movements forevermore. No. You can't be saying that, Todd. That's just not true. Can't be. No way. Babblex, what are you talking about? Oh, but it's that sneaky gun program they got in, even though they drafted that. Fuck, when did they draft that? 2015? They're just sitting around with it. Mosque people came out and all that. Seamus, buddy, pal, dude, bro, put those cigarettes down. They're bad for you, bro. Seriously, smoke them if you got them. Rah. I'm trying to get myself susceptible for that stuff, that special non-existent thing that doesn't float around, that isn't real. But that's my opinion. I wish I could show you a video I made back in March. Steve can tell you about it because he was there. Very interesting what happened. My computer got hacked. Huge. And he did. And a third person. We streamed all about the Kovu, some stuff that was uncovered about it. Funny. Now it's just kind of coming up. Has the officer been charged who shot up the fire hall? No, not to my knowledge. Waylon Jennings, awesome. Flash. That was the name of the dog. Flash. That guy was so funny. Just dropped by to wish you Merry Christmas. Hey, thanks, Tracy. Thanks. God bless you and your family. God bless all of us. Please, we need all the help we can get now, especially those families. CERT report not out on that. CERT report is out. It's got the gray tracker. Wouldn't you know? Wouldn't you know? Let's see if I can find that. CERT. And publications. Publication. Recent publication. Let's see here. When did that get released? Let's just have a boo of what kind of crimes getting committed down Nova Scotia way by cops. This is a fatal shooting. Wouldn't you know if you didn't tune in? Oh, it just came out. Or I was unaware of it. I'm sorry. Probably you all are so speedy you knew about it. I didn't know this was out. I didn't know this was out yet. This is the death at Felix. Felix has parts of in that bigger story, the bigger story that we were talking about. It's a big story underneath all of that other stuff. And I referenced I'll hint you towards that article I was reading before. Characters keep popping up. Let's have a look at this one here. This incident, I wonder if they were stopping for gas. Do you think they were? Should we place a bet? I haven't read it. Let's see here. Okay. I'll put down. Yes, once upon a time I was materialistic. Louis. Anyway, I'll put $20 down. Gas station. Stopping for gas. Let's do that. This incident of an officer. I cut his video. Yeah, sorry. This incident of an officer. Can you guys read that? And if I screw up my reading. This incident of an officer involved fatal shooting was referenced to CERT within minutes of its occurrence, April 19th, 2020. This investigation began that day and concluded December 8th. When was this report issued? Did we see that? Oh, Christ. A week ago? Are you serious? I've missed this for a week? Everybody already knows this, right? Jesus. This is how far behind I am. Fatal shootings referenced CERT within minutes of its occurrence, April 19, 2020. The investigation began that day, concluded December 8, 2020. The facts are, as found in this report, are based on review and consideration of all the evidence obtained during the investigation. The following is a list of evidence statements from two subject officers. Okay, so this is why the referenced articles. I see. My bad. Okay. Reference general occurrence reports and or notes of the 19 witness officers. How's that possible? They didn't witness anything. He would have been dead. Let's see what they say. Maybe they're going to try and say that he was, screw off with that, that he was dead. He got killed after all the cars came on scene. 19 witness officers, statements of 10 civilian witnesses, a timeline. Somebody I know can verify some of this stuff. A timeline and maps of the events and the affected parties' actions. reports from the Firearms and Tool Mark Identification System section, of Forensic Science Identification Service Laboratory, photographs, the same one that Joey Weber didn't get delivered to. Yeah? Oops. Forgot about that one. Photographs and reports from the Office of the Medical Examiner. Oh, yeah, Tara, where is your autopsy report? I'm going to start to turn up the heat. You better get that over to them. I know you're listening. I know you're listening. Just warming up. Watch the legal stuff start. Maybe just send it over. Maybe. And that's directed at certain organizations, not people. Police radio communications forensic identification section reports and photographs, video screenshots and videos from the big stop, the ones you've never seen. National Weapons Enforcement Support Team report. What is that? The West West report. Oh, look at how they have these crazy names. NWEST. They're so cool. They can't get kids, but they can have cool names. RCMP policies, use of force report, and the witness statement of the WO wounded by the AP. Oh. Beginning late evening, April 18th, December 2020, and continuing into the morning of April 19, 2020, the AP, that would be Wortman, went on a killing spree, or so we're told, right? A killing rampage that left 22 persons, 23 dead, and injured several others. The Wortman, in quotation marks, also set fire to numerous homes and motor vehicles. The scene, witnessed by responding officers, was described by one of the WOs as being a war zone. Okay, so they're referencing everybody. All right, that's why we have all the officers. The AP Wortman, quotation marks, victims were either killed by gun or injured by gunfire. Izumi? Death by fire, leather? ×2. Oops. Press conference? Oops. Remember the problems with the stuttering, farting nonsense at the end? With the little powwows? That was the second one, but there was one before that. Oops. You said that people were killed by gunfire, or fire. Fire. As in, suffocated, or we'll just leave it at that. So it is Christmas. The Wortman had in his possession an arsenal of weapons. At the time, the Wortman was shot by Officer 1 and 2. The Wortman was in a stolen vehicle, which they couldn't trace back for 6 hours, which contained, in the front driver's side area, a Smith & Wesson 9mm pistol and ammunition. The Wortman had also stolen after killing an RCMP officer. On the floor below the front driver's seat was a loaded Glock 40 caliber pistol equipped with pressure-activated laser pointing. Oh God, this stuff, please. They love. I don't know. I don't know about you guys. I'm gonna go back. I don't think they fit in the original warrants. The redacted parts that you can put laser pointer stuff in there, but maybe you can let me know what you think. The front passenger seat area contained a cardboard box with ammunition and a metal can containing various caliber loaded ammunition magazines and an empty capacity ammunition magazine. Well, that's just a regular issue magazine, actually, in the United States. The rear seat of the vehicle contains 2 semi-automatic assault rifles with loaded overcapacity, regular in the United States, magazines, and empty semi-automatic pistol, also equipped, i.e. non-pinned, with pressure-activated lasers. Officer 1 and 2 had witnessed firsthand the results of the Wortman murderous activity acts in Portapique. Oh, so they were there, right? Somebody told me that. When they came upon several victims lying dead, where they had been shot, and various buildings burned to the ground, vehicles set on fire by the Wortman. As the search continued, the Wortman proceeded all police officers, including Officer 1 and 2, made aware through various radio communications and other victims being randomly shot to death or injured, including one of their colleagues. Okay, so that's the injured party. I'm throwing in. This report should be a hell of a lot longer than 4 pages. 4 pages, my age. Had been injured, and another in different location who had been killed by the Wortman. The officers also knew the Wortman had threatened to kill his intimate partner, guess they got that out, and other family members. Well, Moncton, 5:30, Paul's getting a visit. After the Wortman killed RCMP officer, civilian happened to, upon the scene, was killed by the Wortman. That would be Joey. The Wortman then set fire to both the RCMP police vehicle and mock police vehicle he had been driving and drove away in the Chevrolet Silver Tracker. Okay, so this was the, sorry, my apologies. Somebody had sent me this report. I just hadn't reviewed it yet. I thought it was to do with just the, oh, this is interesting. So they've lumped it all in one. Unbeknownst to the police, but you see, how can you get this wrong? How? Do you know? I contacted the Weber family because they do peripherally have a little bit of contact with me. Any family member that wants to talk with me, I will always speak with in any family, but I'm not going to approach you. That information is below. I don't want to make you work for it, just my way, because I'm not going to disturb anybody. I asked, no Chevrolet Tracker. I asked that before a long time ago, but I wanted to make sure. So what the fuck are they doing? I know whose car it is. What color it is. Year, model. Come on. Really? Some guy in the West and a group can research this way better than the people who are trying to bury it. Unbeknownst to the police, the Wortman then drove a short distance to the residence of an acquaintance. Okay. So we have the admission that they knew each other. What that is, who's to say? Where he entered the residence, which of course makes sense because he knew where he was going, and killed the acquaintance, Gina Goulet. The Wortman then changed, and we don't have the mention. We don't have the mention of Chad. Have you noticed that? Chad Morrison is missing in action. We're now down to Gina Goulet. Somehow he should be in these 2 very small paragraphs, or 1 paragraph, which is actually just basically 1 sentence. No, sorry, 2. 2 sentences is Shubenacadie. Don't you know? That's all you need. Where is Chad Morrison in there? Missing. Missing in action. Perhaps it's like his photo. You know that photo, Chad, you had? Interesting photo. Unbeknownst to the police, AP Wortman then drove short distance to the residence of Gina Goulet, where he entered the residence and killed Gina Goulet. The Wortman then changed out of the RCMP clothing into that were new pants, completely nice and clean, fully pressed, blah, blah, blah. Of course, everything's very nice. Had been wearing and into civilian clothes, which he just happened to have with him. The Wortman then drove away. Well, we don't have that explanation. Is it their clothing, male's clothing at her house? Is it his? The Wortman then drove away in the latest victim's gray. Yay! When they know the colors, they're not colorblind. En masse, red masked. Seriously, we're talking about rocket science. No, just confusion. Vehicle behind the Chevrolet Tracker. No, I'll help you out. The Ford Explorer. But thanks for coming out. And then discarded the RCMP. So if they're getting this wrong, what else do you think they're getting wrong in here? The Wortman then headed out towards the Halifax Dartmouth, where stopped for gas at the Irving Big Stop. Well, that's good. They know where it was. Officer 1 and 2 were traveling together and were unaware that the Wortman was no longer driving the Ford vehicle, so they pulled in to refuel. Oh, this just doesn't make sense. At the same Irving Big Stop, I'll keep my $20. The officer was driving the police vehicle, stopped at pump adjacent to the pump where the gray Mazda vehicle was parked. Why does he have bullet holes in his window again? Looks like he died in the car. No. And the video you have is off by an hour. So I guess you've just been sitting in the car for an hour, waiting for you. At the Irving Big Stop, adjacent to the gray Mazda 3, which couldn't get traced back for an hour. 6 hours. Poor dog. Poor Gina. Hope Mr. Pinio throws that in there. 6 hours. How long did Gina lie there? Was she still alive? Officer 1 exited the vehicle and began refueling. Looked across to the adjoining pump. He observed a male with a noticeable hematoma and some blood on his forehead. Where? In the vehicle? Standing at the pumps? Where is this person, the Wortman? Where is he? Do you see anything about that? No. This is about as descriptive as a piece of toilet paper. The officer recognized this person as the Wortman from the photographs he had seen in the command post. The same one that failed to go down. C begins with C. Not doxing. Officer 1 drew his weapon and alerted Officer 2 that the Wortman was in the vehicle. Okay. So they were just staring into the car next to them. I know I do that at the pump. Of course, they were expecting him in a gray car with a hat on, right? In civilian clothes, of course, right? A member of the emergency response team left the vehicle and traveled across in front of the police vehicle. Raised his pistol he had stolen at the RCMP officer, killed 30 minutes later, or earlier. 26. Yeah, right. Yeah. Officer 1 and 2, the one that I think they abandoned, sadly. At least the footage seems to indicate. Then began firing their service weapons. The Wortman died. Wow, that was descriptive as hell. So he's killed in his car. So I was right from the fucking beginning. 2, 1 tactical unit shot in his car. Fuck, man, I have to fight sometimes with people about this shit. I don't like to. Legal issues. Did the police officer have the legal authority to arrest the Wortman? Police officers are entitled to arrest a person they find committing an indictable offense sitting in their car. Who has reasonable grounds to believe? Did they identify themselves? Did you hear anything about that? Nope. They just shot him. And then began firing. I don't know, but they had a problem over in Onslow. I'm glad that the Wortman is dead. Do I think he acted alone? Absolutely not. The evidence doesn't seem to support that anymore. But I'm glad. We don't need scum running around. So, yay, win. But this isn't the way that you do it. That's illegal. Let's read and see. Maybe they're going to try and say it's not. Who would have reasonable grounds to believe as he had committed an indictable offense. They knew that the Wortman had shot and killed a number of persons, had threatened to kill more, and was in possession of at least 1 firearm when they came upon him. The Wortman was armed and dangerous. They don't not conclusively legally know. Yes, they have strong evidence, but, and again, I'm not siding here. Were they entitled to apply force and protect themselves? Did he fire at them? Section 25 of the Criminal Code allows police officer acting on reasonable grounds to search to use as much force as necessary to enforce or administer the law. Was the use of force by Officer 1-2 excessive? 254 allows police officer to use force that is intended to cause death, bodily harm, if the officer believes on reasonable grounds that the force is necessary for the purpose of protecting the police officer or any other persons from imminent or future death or grievous bodily harm. Is that what they're going to haul out? Is that what they're going to haul out? These justifications, think about it for a moment. Is this what they're going to use to do with Onslow? Because I think they are. So basically, without really knowing anything, if you kind of think something maybe, you could just open fire. You don't need to identify. You don't need to... Listen, if the guy's in the fucking car and you got 2 of you there and he hasn't raised a weapon, which doesn't seem to even indicate anything about that. He hasn't fired at you, doesn't seem to indicate anything about that. You don't know for sure who this person is because, frankly, I don't think you could say, listen, I saw a guy with a bloody head, which we haven't seen pictures of. They have no proof of anything that they're saying because a guy is sitting in a car. I'm sorry. Don't get me wrong. I think all of you know, and Tara's here, and I know she's biased and she'll side with me, but I don't think any family member would say that this was done properly. Yes, the guy's a scumbag. Yes, he should die. But you don't do it this way. Just because you see a guy in civilian clothes, you don't even know he's changed. He's not in a car, you know. You didn't even fucking figure out what color it was for fucking days until I pointed out. Red, red, red. Thanks, Lloyd. Derp. It has to be done the right way. I don't want to be sitting at a gas station in my car because somebody's punched me in the head or I've fallen down and some cop just drives up and they're like, oh yeah, fuck, that must be him. Well, he was driving a cop cruiser last I knew, and then, you know, I'm just going to open fire on this guy. Come on. I know that's probably really pushing some people's buttons, but I think if you allow your emotions to sit down and settle, you'll see what I'm talking about is true. You wouldn't want the same thing for you. Jesus, that's dangerous, man. Really dangerous. No videos. I have the video. Yeah, I have that video. These videos are, all of it is highly suspect. Because frankly, they heard him shooting. With the fucking dog and pony show. This report indicates, true, shows, proves it was all a lie. Just like I said, it was a fucking show. Not true. Let's get Blue in there. Oh yeah, we heard gunshots. Come on, man, come on. I know my impersonations suck. Come on. Reasonable here. Conclusions. The two SOs, along with many other police officers, were actively searching for the Wortman, knowing that he had randomly killed many persons. You don't know that. That's the problem. That's why we have law. It's the law separates. I'm not saying that this was not a horrendous act. It was horrific. This has kept me on my fucking couch for months. 24/7. Seriously. But there is a way that we have things done. And opening fire on people, on fire halls, is not right. That's not where we live. Were they in imminent danger? Nothing in this report indicates that. If they were, please provide it. Please provide it. But I find it very interesting they can't. They can say that's the law if they feel that they're in imminent danger. So a person think about it, please. Think about it. So a person in a car that is not a car they know, wearing clothes that they don't know, that you can for sure identify. Try and identify the person in the car next to you when you're filling up. It's very difficult. Not the right car, not the right clothes, and no indication in here by their own words. By their own words. That he raised a gun at them? I see. Sorry. They did. My apologies. My apologies. My apologies. I don't, you better have more proof, honestly. And that better come out. And you better fucking show it, honestly, because you can't have people driving around just randomly shooting. The fire hall shows it. And those people haven't been charged. They're back at work. Back at work. What's going on here? This is right out there, man. I don't want officers threatened. If they were in imminent danger, absolutely blow this guy away. He was a bad man. From everything that seems to indicate that. He was a bad man. Not some of the stuff is clearly not exactly true. Would be like what we saw down there, right? Where's that on? I don't even have it up. All the fucking dog and pony show that they had down there for us, that's a lie. That's a lie. They're admitting it. They lied. They orchestrated that whole thing. They got the press there. Who knows if they're opening fire with live rounds when the man is dead on a gas station with lots of civilians around? Oh, no. Oh, no. Live rounds and flammable liquids with many civilians. Seriously. You heard it. You heard it. He's shooting them. They're shooting them. Oh, no. For what? To save your ass? To save your image? To lie to your employers? This is bad, people. Think about it. Opening fire. All of those people were there. Other police officers endangered by their actions. That's fucking horrendous. If he's dead, he can't talk. Yeah. But they were leveling guns. There was a witness who said he heard fire, bullets being discharged. In fact, there were multiple witnesses. I know of somebody in the area who heard gunshots going off. How many police officers did they place at risk? How many? How about the civilians in the big stop? How about the reporters that were there so they could fucking lie to us all? What would have happened? You're not even supposed to talk on a cell phone near a gas pump. What do you think is going to happen if I, totally hypothetically, some person were to open fire near a gas pump? Do you think they'll be just like, oh, no problem, here? Risking. How many people did they say that were there witnessing it at the big stop? That's what happened. The truthful version, the true, supposedly the next level of truth that we've got out of them, is how many they indicate in this report How many civilians were there at the big stop that they say? Is it 10 civilian witnesses? The workman was down there. If he was trying to kill people at the gas station, why the fuck didn't he kill people at the gas station? If he was just running around randomly killing people, why didn't he kill anybody? There's lots of people there. I would really like them to know, and I do hope that the lawyers think about that. Jameson, gives you some more. What about all of the people? What about all the officers? You just got a big, huge lawsuit on your hands. Huge! I would fucking sue the pants off them and bury them. Too bad I can't practice. I'm New Brunswick, or sorry, Nova Scotia. Too bad. I'm not qualified. Brain's not too decent. Not too decent. My brain's not terrible, though. What the fuck, man? It just requires a little bit of reading, a little bit of looking. Look at all these people. Where's that? I'm going to bring that up. This is really bad. Really bad. Tara's in here. Tara, how do you feel? How do you feel? Reprobate minds lie. Yeah, reprobates. How do you feel, photo ops? How do you feel about officers being placed in harm's way, civilians being placed in harm's way, shot in cuffs? Yeah. Who knows? This kind of stuff. Where's the video of it? I don't know where my videos are of this. It's fucking crazy. This kind of stuff. But the videos where you can see all of the vans around, all of the police officers around. Let's see. Is this the crazy guy's video? No. Sorry. Like, look at this. This would have been after the fact. But there were lots there. And they were, if that's true, and they were opening fire when this was going down, the staged bullshit show, you just risked a lot of people's lives, far more than the workmen and your own members. No wonder I've heard comments from RCMP officers that say they wouldn't want to have some members, other members, come over for dinner. That's the work environment that they live in and work in. That's our employees. Yes, there's a photo of him lying on the ground. Where? Let's pull that up. You want that? Screw off. A bunch of them. I'm sure they're blasting all over. I think. And honestly, I don't know if they've been cleaning his head or what. It does look like he's taken a battering, possibly. I don't know who this is even, but whatever. I'm not going to go there. The wardman has taken a battering, right? But it's not something that I could tell from looking at somebody in a car next to me. That's for sure going to be, I can't tell. You know how many people have been sitting around here debating with all good intent, very good, honest, true intent, not crazies, nothing, looking at that photo and saying, is that the workman? Is it? This is what the RCMP would have saw. If you think you can tell that's the workman, 100%, you go and shoot him. You go place people at risk. Do it. In a car? In a car. Yeah. He was trying to do it that night, apparently. He was trying to shoot propane tanks, from what we're told. Well, what did they do down there with that? Where's the video? See? I even marked it. I'm like, yeah. All these photos disappeared to this angle. This angle. Gone. I had better pictures at one point. Very early on. They may still, in fact, be on my computer. Who knows? It's a behemoth. So finding anything on there, good luck. But maybe it's there. I don't have time to go searching around. Why did all this stuff disappear? Why does this report have no validation of, I can't show that. That's got a person's name. Where's the video? Here we go. Let's watch the video. I've been sent this numerous times recently for some reason. I don't know why.
They got the killer right here. They got him on lockdown. They're going for him right now. They got the killer right here. Oh, they got him, but they shot him. I heard the 4 shots.
Excuse me? Let's look at how many people were there again. Was it 2? 2 officers. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh no.
Killer right here.
How many there? Shooting? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, they got.
Jesus, 9. I can see 10 boots, sets of
Got him,
boots.
but they shot him. I heard the 4 shots.
I heard the 4 shots.
I heard the 4 shots. Got him, but they shot him. I heard the 4 shots. Got him, but they shot him. I heard the 4 shots. Oh, they got him, but they shot him. I heard the 4 shots. Oh, they got him, but they shot him. I heard the 4 shots. I heard the 4 shots, bud. There he is. They got him.
Yeah, we're gonna get sniped. They got the road.
Look at all the people.
What's going on here, man?
Oh, how about these guys?
Oh, yeah. It's telling us to back up, Justin, back up.
How about these guys? Big Stop is one of the biggest gas stations. That is the biggest gas station, from what I'm told, in Nova Scotia. It has a lot of gas there. What is that? How many bars does it have? Plus it has all of the diesel fuel. Holy shit, man. That would have been, you have the town of Enfield nearby. Oh, they just walked into something really, really bad now. I mean, aside from whatever they're covering up, they just created a whole new can of worms, and I think people better start asking. The video's here.
Oh, they got him, bud. They shot him. I heard the 4 shots. I heard the 4 shots, bud.
I don't even know if I want to continue. Frankly, it's just, that's, I don't think I can. I'm sorry. To know that they would risk all of these people's lives, their own members' lives, family, my ass. They lied the entire time. I knew he was shot in the car right away. Not trying to be a braggart. I'm not. It's just because I spent a lot of time on it, right? Period. And I knew what happened down there wasn't real because it doesn't make any logical sense. You have just reporters everywhere and they say 1 tactical unit. Okay, you just admitted it. Now you admitted it in a report. Now you've admitted it in the report. Tim's, Burger King, always packed. I've heard people say, thank goodness it wasn't really packed that day because of the COVID. Firing weapons stop imminent, they just caused all kinds of imminent threat of death and grievous bodily harm. That amount of fuel is outrageous. No, you're not being shadow banned, Del Monte. I see you. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with the comments here. Just 1 spark. Boom. You could, but I mean, they're pumping gas. Who all is there pumping gas? And frankly, you can pierce a line. You can do whatever. Hell, if they're shooting and they hit a fucking sign, man. A sign. People who are down there and know the layout of the land on the Onslow, like the sign, where they're at, going into the fire hall, into the fire engine, they're using big guns. Well, Todd would know about this stuff, right? C8 is big gun. Let's have a look. Let's see how big that gas station is. And frankly, I think if I'm wrong, good. But let's ask the question. Oh my, that's not the best. This could have resulted in some serious hurt. Two sets of pumps. Biggest gas station. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have the diesel not far away. All the tanks in here. You know, I'm not a pyrotechnics expert. I don't know. But frankly, do you not find it risky? Is it not? reasonable to say opening fire at a gas pump, especially when it's a lie and you have a lot of people around? That's really, really fucking scary. You had the guy in the background. You had the trucks in the background. You have places that are exposed to getting a shot. They're not lying. They're not lying. They admitted it themselves. They said it. The CERT report said it in the first press conference. One tactical unit. Let's go to, sorry, oh dear, because I think she has that sampled out, right? For some reason, I don't know where mine is, but thank goodness for great, teamwork. This is teamwork. What a fucking Seamus show. Jesus, I'd like to be able to sleep in a bed. Let's watch a couple of videos of this. Yeah, there we go. She got the one.
Do we live in a country that RCMP are allowed to just open fire and kill people? Shoot and ask questions later? Two of the force's officers fired dozens of shots that struck the building during the manhunt for the mass murderer who killed 22 people in April.
Struck the sign behind them. Like total cowboys.
Luckily, none of the 3 Belmont firefighters inside the fire hall were injured. Neither were an EMO official nor a Pictou County RCMP officer whose police vehicle was parked beside the hall.
Coming to the big stop Irving in Enfield. While he's at the gas pumps, one of our tactical resources came to the gas station to refuel their vehicle. When the officer exited the vehicle, there was an encounter and the gunman was shot and killed.
I seen this SWAT team come in and
April 28th. One tactical unit. Campbell said it himself. One tactical unit. This was as far back, April 28th. They admitted it. And as soon as they said it, I was like, fuck, man. You guys said. You said. April 28th. One tactical unit. I'm like, well then, what was this fucking dog and pony show with all of the media there, with all of these officers, people running around, blue hopping in there. Oh, it doesn't look good for the photo shoot because it doesn't, the color doesn't look good. And you better get him out of there. Oh, I just heard the 4 shots, boy. I just heard the 4 shots. They got him. They got him. One tactical unit. Glenn Hines saw it. Tried to contact him. He wouldn't say anything. Of course, just like everybody in this story.
Was shot and killed.
I seen this SWAT team come in and park beside the pumps, and the fellow get out of the passenger side and he just read out in front of the car and out with the his gun and just opened up right through the windshield of the car.
Obviously, this gas station is closed. I don't have audio still? Fuck, man. Have they muted me now? Testing. Hello? Am I muted? Did I say too much? What's going on? What's going on here? Am I still muted? Am I even streaming? Well, fine. But this is some serious crime now that has been committed. Serious crime. Crime. I don't care if you're using blanks. What the fuck are you doing? I had a problem with the lying. I had a big problem with the lying. But if you're actually going to discharge weapons for your dog and pony show and risk all of your own members potentially, all we need is here, how about this? Anybody remember this? Anybody remember this guy? Bruce Lee's son? Lee was accidentally shot on set using a prop gun. Shot and killed. Just because you think it's a blank doesn't necessarily mean that it's a blank. And why are you doing it? The guns thing was, I mean, frankly, even the demented Wortman, Warty, younger Warty, Gabe, not demented old Warty, who's a lying bag. That's a whole load of that. I'll tell you, 100%. Money down. I'll put my money down on it. I feel really confident in what I'm saying. Seems to be panning out. Seems to be panning out. I won't push certain other issues because it seem to be explosive with certain people. But anyway, those, Gabe wouldn't probably discharge a fucking weapon beside a pump. You have to be out of your mind. Here's Campbell, I'm sure, just saying, oh yeah, by the way, just discharge a weapon. Don't worry, it's fake. Nobody will know. Yeah, they're not, that's absolutely 100% true. 100% true. They have very little training. Lots of them. I'm not doing that. Like, there's lots of them in there that do have training. Lots of training. But some of them, like as, what is his name? The Rumple or the Bunkle or the Dumple or the Rumple, I think it is. Runkle? Dumple? He said it the other video I just listened to the other day. 50 rounds. That's some police departments, that's what their requirement is. 50 rounds. yearly with no pal. Come on, Maisie. You know that. Listen, I can bring on people that'll. I've talked about the fucking C8 carbines and the Moncton stuff. They don't know their weapons. Most of them, they don't. They don't and I'm not saying that in a derogatory way. Listen, there are lots of good people. Yeah, but there are people. Yes, exactly. And that's what Bunkle or Rumple or Dumple said. I'm not meaning that in a derogatory way. I just think that's funny. Anyway, but he says it. It's true. And most people who shoot guns go through that in a session. Easy. You're going through 4 boxes. That's how, you get a good shot. To become a good shot, that's how you become a hunter. So that you don't have animals suffering and you're shooting signs and being retarded with weapons. You don't become, I don't think it's right to become a police officer without having that kind of knowledge. You should have very good training in weapons, very good shot, because you don't want to shoot signs and fire engines and civilians and have I just don't even know. I don't even know how to react to this. I mean, it's just it's awful. And there are lots of people around in this video. Lots. And all of the people, like there's a dude right there taking pictures. I know some of these photographers, and frankly, I don't know if they're all playing on the right team. And then you have the people in the big stop, they're just going to work. Like, hello. Maybe that's why they were all forced to sign, not just what they saw that day in terms of what really took place, i.e., probably what we're getting some basic truth on with this BS, right? Oh, they're going to have to answer, honestly. You're going to have to fucking step in it. Now, you have walked into a minefield. And I'll tell you, I'm going to be working. My mind's going to be going, and it's going to go into what all is going on just down there and all of the problems with that. The officer involved with that. Families should subpoena him. Subpoena him. Amongst other people. Who gave you the order to fire guns? Mr. Moneypenny. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Mr. Moneypenny, working always hard. Disappeared for a while. I think he was pissed with me. I try not to piss people off. I try. I do a good job in my life. Just add it, yeah. Or just, chalk it up to. That's just me being a real smart ass. Yeah, that other thing. Because that one too, I've got a really good story about that one brewing around in the background. But we got to get this one solved first, I think. Hopefully we can get more now. 15 hours. Yeah. I mean, it takes time. It takes time to be comfortable with weapons. You're clearing, you're all of it, you know? In fucking PAL course, they teach you how to deal with muskets. That's about 50% of the course, which is cool. I remember I asked, I'm like, why is it that we're learning about musket shooting? They're like, well, you know, still some people do that. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. But, you know, probably 50% of the course was devoted to that. I'm not kidding. Not anymore. Oh, okay. Well, then I stand corrected. I stand corrected. I'm always, you know, in need of improvement. Let's go back here to Oh Dear. We'll do. This is good. You know, if you're not subscribed to her channel, please do. And please, you know I babble on for hours. 2 hours now, right? There's good stuff here. There is good stuff. And somebody with far better, I can do videos. I assure you, I can do videos, but that takes me a lot of time. Other people are fast at it. Steve's really fucking speedy at it. Oh Dear cranks out awesome videos. Rage does. Kage. Adrian does. I'm not that fast, and I'm busy. But this, like, come on, we can do a
that
point
RCMP are allowed to just open fire and kill people.
on that
Shoot
report.
and ask questions later. 2 of the force's officers fired dozens of shots that struck the building during the manhunt for the mass murderer who killed 22 people in April.
How many shots was that? 32 shots fired? I mean, whoa. They are so lucky they didn't kill anybody or hurt anybody. Like, really lucky. Plus, additionally, the responsibility, I hope, I ask people, is to spread that around, that knowledge. And then start asking, what are you doing firing blank rounds down at Enfield, RCMP? Why are you putting on shows? Why are you risking people lives? No, the people, I mean, I don't want to get into this debate. I have my points of view on it, and they are not unknown. I have a ranch. You look at the statistics. I have thoroughly looked at those statistics. Thoroughly. People killing other people with weapons who are legal, law-abiding gun license holders, PAL holders, who responsible, they follow the rules, is very minimal. The weapons being stolen from them, not so big, very tiny. What you're talking about is a cross-border trade of weapons, like down in Mexico, where they have no weapons. Lots of people die in Mexico with weapons. Lots. Why? They're illegal. They come from the United States. Guns in, drugs out. And money. What was it called? Fast and Furious. Fast and Furious. Very much an operation. And the government is part of that. I'm not doing tinfoil, that's true. They know what's going down. They don't, it's not about you and me and average people. And hell, it's not about their own officers even. I'm just floored. I'm frankly, anyway, I do hope, we could watch the one tactical video. Oh dear did, which is great. Only 189 subs. Come on, people. Give it subs and likes and all that good stuff. It's only a button. Share it around. Oh dear. You could do it with mine, I suppose, but other people, let's support them. Help them out. Get the message out. That's what helps. That's our responsibility. Yeah, they're coming to get me. Well, that's why I got lawyers. And I got friends. Friends. People who may disagree with me, but I believe these are people who will support me. You will support me if I got something wrong. Because I'm not coming from a bad place. Just try and do what I can to help people I don't know. You don't know me. Really? Some of you have become my friends through this process. All kinds of goodness. I'm not one to smile, usually. Not in my way. But yeah. Wow. I don't know what is that. This stuff up here too. Start asking questions. Merry Christmas, Alex. Merry Christmas. Do enjoy your time with your family. I don't want to cut into anybody's time. Merry Christmas, everybody. Take care. God bless everybody. Even if you're not a believer, it doesn't mean anything. Once upon a time, before I found my way back, there was a lady who was helping out a person who I used to volunteer and help. And I just met her one time, and she said, "Can I pray for you?" And I said, "Oh yeah, sure." I mean, I felt weird and strange. It was different, you know? But what harm can it do? Can't do anything to hurt. And it didn't. It did help me. You know, and just because they reached out of their way and weren't afraid of that barrier, which is suddenly there, to say, you know, can I pray? Can I pray with you? Can I pray for you? I'm like, yeah, sure. She took me to church too. Kind of nice. A bit odd, maybe, but very nice. She was a very nice lady. I wonder where she is. All right. Hello there. All right. God bless everybody. You have a fantastic Christmas. Hope you get to spend it with all your family. Don't be afraid. It's okay. We'll get through this one together.